Seller Club Podcast, episode number 95. Drop that beat. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today?
Amazing.
Pretty good.
World of reselling.
Yeah.
Back at it again.
It's still turning.
It's still turning.
The world is still turning. We've got 2 more weeks of runway into Q4. So
Golly,
clocking
only
that.
2 more weeks.
Yes.
Woo! Well. Also, I kind of can feel the vibe because the leaves are starting to turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've seen some trees are already yellow here in Ohio. So when that happens, I kind of have that Q4 feeling vibe, not
What
the
is
pumpkin
that Q4
spice
feeling?
latte, not the.
I was just gonna say.
Well, that the vibe is. Waking up really early when it's really cold, trying to travel, trying to do some Q4 stuff, and you go to Starbucks and all they have is pumpkin this, pumpkin that. I was like, I don't want pumpkin.
Chestnut praline latte. Just throwing it out there.
Yes.
It's really good.
Whatever is not pumpkin, I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
It's still hot outside, so it's rough right now. It's like
Glenn's like, I don't want to hear it.
It's 93 degrees and
Yeah.
it is bad. I'm like, when is it going to be?
I know.
Yeah, more like January, Glenn. We're like Q1, right?
It's been really weird where I am. It has rained 1 time in about the last 2 months. Literally. It's a drought. So that's kind of interesting. But I've heard that it's going to be a long, cold winter. So we'll see how
was
that
that from
goes.
the Farmer's Almanac thing?
Yeah, and just larger weather predictions for the whole season. But it is interesting. It's been an interesting year with the weather and the seasons. So I'm just planning on, battening down the hatches and doing a lot of listing when it's cold and dark and not going outside too much, except maybe to source when there's a really good deal. So we'll see.
So right now you're saying get all your jackets up.
That's
and
what I'm
running.
saying. I'm saying yes. And I'm going to keep reminding everyone this just in case they didn't hear it or they forgot. Jen Deal told us weeks ago we need to get all of our inventory listed by the end of September because of when a significant chunk of people are already doing their holiday shopping.
Yeah.
By the time Q4 comes. So if you're not listing while you're listening to this, get on it. You still have a couple weeks. Including myself. I'm also preaching to myself
that's
right now.
That's what we're doing. I mean, let's just jump right into it right away.
Yes, let's, because we are talking about Q4 prep, the really tactical side of it today. So that's a huge part of it. Obviously, getting everything you possibly can listed.
And one of the perfect examples I had, because I still catch myself sourcing because I cannot not source. But I think, Glenn, we're trying to implement our 24-hour rule. I think we're at 48-hour rule right now. That anything we buy new needs to be listed within 48 hours. And obviously it's not the most exciting kind of style of listing because I like listing shoes particularly, but a lot of this are outerwear. So you're thinking pants, jackets, hoodies, and those are kind of the wonky things to take photos of. But speaking of getting everything listed ASAP because people are buying, I just sold a puffer jacket for $150 that I paid $49.99 for.
That's great.
So it happened. So 3 days. It only took 3 days and it sold.
So it's not hot outside.
It's not. It's cold somewhere.
Somewhere.
Also too here in Cincinnati, I've been waking up early and at 7 a.m. it's 40 something degrees.
Wow, it is a lot colder 49. There than where I am.
Yeah, so.
Am I accidentally in Texas? What's going on?
Yeah, something like that.
It's hot
so we
here.
do need those jackets listed.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
So, but also to caveat too, that doesn't, when I say everything gets listed within 48, those are only the stuff that we bought recently because we
still have a pile.
We have had stuff that our money pile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only me. If it's me, money pile.
I can't even remember the exact timeline, but I think it was in June maybe. I was like, okay, I'm listing everything. I don't want to have any kind of pile. So I did that. It was May or June. But then over July, it sort of crept in again. I have a pile again.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I've realized because there was traveling, there was
July.
open,
So July.
Julied. I Julied to myself. And then now August has also passed by, and I have listed some stuff, but like kind of like you're saying, Ken, I
Yeah.
fell out of my best practice processes.
100%.
And so I'm trying to just like get right back into that so
Mhm.
that I don't have any more bottlenecks and I don't have any more pile going into Q4 because I want to do that as I'm sourcing in Q4. I want to be listing too and not do
Not
kind of what I did over the summer, which
yeah,
is okay.
Not
I
think
like
about
flexibility, so I'm
not
not
think
mad
about.
it.
It's kind of like it doesn't make you feel that good when you're sourcing when you know there's stuff laying, and then especially with kind of like how the basement is set up right now, there's just stuff laying on the floor.
Yeah.
So well, let's hear about what Glenn's been up to as far as listing. His eBay
So-
comeback.
No
eBay
piles.
comeback. I know. eBay comeback. YouTube comeback. I'm trying.
Ooh.
Trying to get everything organized and set.
You're trying to
so-
bring everything back.
I know.
He's
right
trying
now,
to cash in.
he's trying. So right now I'm trying to get everything's organized, all the hats. Like the storage unit, everything is placed accordingly. I know where everything is. It looks very nice. The problem
Congratulations.
They're not listed.
is... Oh, thank you. Oh, no, well, they're getting listed at the moment. But I guess the problem is there's still... actually, there's a low amount of cleats left. I've been selling a lot of them for cheap on Whatnot to get it out. A lot of these are just older stuff, so that's been helping a little bit. And then I have just some like older hats too that I just bought way too much quantity wise. Like some of them are literally like 40 deep of like one size, and because they
Wow.
were cheap, I just bought them all. And they're just like so slow to move, or like some people aren't feeling like the color or the size and stuff. So on Whatnot, I've been doing clearance shows on Friday, and I put clearance in the title so their expectations are low.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go in and they're like,
Expectations are high, prices are low.
Hey,
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
Everyone,
where's all
yeah.
the heat? Like, this
Yeah,
is
you
all
should-
stuff that I've seen.
You should put like kind of like a more kind of like funny meme title, like "Rob Me" or something like that. Like Steel
Rob Me.
Season. Like how like people like to do that. and
Crimes,
it's like,
Glenn, crimes.
Yeah.
The
like,
people want crimes.
Yeah.
And so
That's
last
not true.
Thursday I did like all my best selling hats on like one
Okay.
show, but I only did 60. Instead of like doing 200 hats at a night.
You made it limited,
Yeah, and that show did really well. So
and then yeah. So
I think
you
it-
just say like everything's expensive today. If we're all cheapos, see you tomorrow.
pretty much like you'll see you tomorrow for the clearance show. Meanwhile, everything else is getting listed on eBay, so I want to make sure my goal is just to like less on Whatnot, more on eBay, and stuff that sells that I don't have to I don't know, actively sell in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Grind so much on
yeah, so
in
I've been
front
trying
of the camera.
exactly. So I've been trying to list everything. So my brother-in-law is he's taking the photos and then he's making it into a draft right away, and I'm trying to list it right away. So, since I've been doing that, we started September 1st. So I think we've sold 39 hats since we listed them.
that's more than one a day already. So.
Yeah, so that's really good.
So
And we haven't even gotten
you're-
like we're like 1/8 in, so we got a
Wow.
lot
Yeah.
of work to still do. And I'm
So-
just running promotions well. And also trying to like what I had told Ken, when it sells out, it still stays listed. So
Oh, he's using the out of stock
Yeah.
style
Yeah.
listings. Yeah.
Right.
so it's pretty cool because it says like last one, but 3 have sold, and then it's
Glenn's
top
that
on the
yeah.
list, so
Glenn
that's
likes to
pretty cool,
trick
too.
the buyers.
it's limited.
It's
There's
limited.
one left.
yeah. They're numbered 1 to 100, but I have 1,000 of them.
I had to get that urgency in there.
Get him out of there, man.
Yeah.
I just love how eBay also will email them and telling them like there's one left. Like you're
Yeah.
watching this, there's one
Item, yeah.
left. You know.
Yeah.
And I just don't like starting all over again too. It's like the watchers are always there.
Yeah.
Instead of having to relist or sell similar, it's just like
And also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be a hack that for example, an item that has 10 watchers, right, and you're using the auto stock feature, you can
Yeah.
always change that listing to a different item.
That's true too.
Oh, that's what Amazon does. Have you
Yeah.
seen? Have you seen?
Oh,
I've seen that.
interesting.
Yeah, so look at Amazon listings, right? Like Amazon's big or top rated, right? Top seller. So you look at this like coffee mug, right? And you look at the reviews. If you go down too far, next thing you know, it was like a remote control.
It's a different thing, yeah, in the reviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen that.
So that's kind of like how they, quote unquote, hijack a listing or kind of like convert a listing, a good performing listing. Because you definitely want to keep the watchers and the views. But
Yeah.
if it's a bad, terrible listing, like end that listing, create a new one, basically. So
Yeah. Exactly.
so you could do that.
So that's where I'm at right now. I got a lot of work to do, but I am excited to see. I mean, pretty much talking to like Sneakers Envy and everything. He's just like, well, you have to give it a chance, right? Like, I haven't necessarily listed all, I don't know, hundreds to thousands of hats that I have. But if I play the quantity game, I mean, it's gotta move, and I think it'll give me more time back, which I'm gonna need in January when baby number 2 comes. So that's really also why I'm prepping a lot to kind of get time back.
It's not just Q4 prep for you.
It's Q1
exactly.
prep. It's all the prep. No, and I think one of the things that I've said this a long time ago. We were still in the apartment. I think you have to have the rule of 1,000 listings, like get to 1,000, because I think that's when you really start kind of like making that full-time money in a way.
Yeah.
Once you have 1,000 listings, I feel like it's such a big net that it's so impossible to not catch a buyer.
Yeah, like
Vice
you're
versa.
selling stuff
Yeah.
every single day at that point.
Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but that's a good plan. So let's get into supplies. We have heard breaking news from Poshmark that
Oh yes,
they're
I heard about this.
they're getting rid of priority mail labels. So they said we're lowering down shipping. Oh, sounds such a great headline. But
You're like,
also,
what? Good news.
yeah,
finally?
and then they say we're no longer using priority mail, but we're going to do USPS ground advantage.
Oh no.
So, that being said, everybody has all these priority mail boxes and supplies that they can't use eventually.
Yeah,
there
they
are
have like
some-
30 days or something to keep
Yes.
using it.
Yeah, but they say like you can still use it for the first 30 days, and after that you get charged $5 if you use it. But I'm like, really? Like, do you think that the postal service carriers know that when they see USPS ground advantage label on a priority mail box?
Yeah, and there's like those are free supplies anyway.
Yes. So so people are gonna get charged or overcharged because certain people don't. Because, like, how connected is your mail carrier to Poshmark News?
How connected is Poshmark to Poshmark News? That's my
That
question.
too, right? So supplies. So finally, Poshmark sellers have to be real business people. No, I'm just joking. Because they have to.
Jamie, come on now.
I'm just joking. I saw
Can't
on
resist, you
Poshmark.
can't
Yeah.
resist.
That was kind of like just a shit. But they have to finally buy their own shipping supplies. So welcome to the real world, because we have been buying shipping supplies on eBay since the beginning. So
Yeah.
or you pay the premium to send it priority mail. So speaking of supplies, are you guys ready for the Q4 supplies that you guys are gonna need?
I think so. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned priority mail because I use that almost never now. So most of my supplies are eBay shipping supplies, with my coupon, or just like things that I pay to restock really cheap, like poly mailers or whatever that I constantly use.
Poly bags.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, I do like all summer, all year, every single week I pick up free shipping supplies that's like filler. And honestly, I'm using less. I use more paper to like pack, boxes with sneakers, for example, or those kind of things that aren't like breakable, but they have to go in an outer box. I use a lot less like bubble wrap and
Yeah.
packing peanuts now because I just haven't been selling as many fragile things over
Mm-hmm.
time. But all that stuff is great filler anyway, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
I've been kind of organizing and stockpiling that stuff because hopefully in Q4 I'll use basically everything that I've been overstocking over the summer. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, mostly I like increasingly I'm having to just recycle some of the boxes and stuff that I get for free because
Mm-hmm.
it's too many boxes. Like I just don't need that many. I use way more poly mailers and bubble mailers. So
Mm.
definitely planning on restocking all of my eBay stuff as much as possible because also, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I do want to do a lot of sourcing in Q4 and have a Q5 next,
Yep.
Q1 actually. So I want to be like basically stocked for both now. So that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, shipping supplies is a huge thing. Also labels, shipping labels. You want to make
Yep.
sure
Yep. Yep.
you have enough labels and you're not scrambling and out of labels and having to cut and tape, for a
Yeah.
couple days, wait for your labels to
Glenn
come in. Yeah.
for years.
For
I've definitely
years.
forgotten to do that before and it was no fun.
What about you, Glenn? Are you ready for your shipping supplies? Because I mean, during your whatnot streams, you have to be ready on those. Because
Yeah, so that's why
Right.
I'm constantly ordering like the same kind of like hat boxes. So those are
mm-hmm.
perfect for the eBay side too. So I'm good there. I think poly bags still pretty good. Those I do have to order pretty regularly. Still selling like jerseys and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean I still like the padded flat rate envelopes even though those have gone up quite a bit. I think now it's like 960
Yeah,
to
at
ship.
that
I
at that point,
mean,
just ship it in a box.
I know. So at that point, but you know what? I only use that when I know the jersey is over like 120
Right.
Yeah,
bucks.
because for insurance, right?
Yeah, for insurance and things like that. So I
But
really don't
the
want to trust Ground Advantage, but
yeah, in the other options too for like maybe hoodies or jackets or pants, if they don't fit on a flat rate envelope, um, talking just about priority because of the insurance factor. There are boxes called 1092 and 1095.
mm,
Those are kind of like flat, like only 4 inches thick boxes that could hold to like 2XL hoodies and stuff like that. So but then you just have to pay for actually the weight. It's not
I
flat
have a
rate.
question. So I'm pretty sure in eBay labels when I go to ship something, if it's going like a flat rate priority envelope or a ground advantage, I thought the insurance was the same, like up to 100.
I don't think it is for Ground Advantage, is it?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
go
50.
look because I only have been insuring things like I look at it all the time. But let me see if I can pull up an example.
Okay. So meanwhile,
La
Kenny
la
though, if you
la.
go to the Poshmark side, like how does that change? I guess like
So
regular sellers.
for buyers, it's cheaper to buy now on Poshmark because it's I think $6 something to buy, but it's USPS Ground Advantage. It's not you're not getting it 2 to 3 days, but I don't think it's such a big deal for Poshmark. I think it only
Mm-hmm.
was good because if and this is my experience. I've been buying a lot of my just kind of like unique pieces in Poshmark, and it helps me. It helps the buyer feel like it's coming faster, but it's not really faster. The seller is just taking too long to ship.
Mm,
There are
okay.
only few instances that the seller ships next day. Usually they're like I think 2 to 3, 4 days sometimes, and then priority package gets to you in 2 to 3 days. So I feel like there's like a week turnaround all the time. So I think for as a Poshmark seller, you just have to ship faster to get your packages to the customer, and then because you know how they do the payout system, they have to accept it, and if they don't accept it, then you don't get to pay. You get paid the money that you sold. So that's kind of like the pushback that I've seen. But yeah, you might have to be creative and like Anna find recycled boxes that you can find locally. One of the things that I've always suggested to people is um, go to your local box supply store. They usually are cheaper because one is they don't have to deal with freight. I actually discovered that my local box supply company will ship for free within city limits. So I've gotten pallets
Just
shipped to
deliver
me.
it.
Yeah, delivered to my front door. Because when you're ordering 400 or 500 boxes, I mean, it's still a pain. It's free to pick up, but it's still too pain to haul in your car and haul out. So, that's what you gotta do. Now you gotta pay 50, 75 to $1 per box now for bigger boxes.
Okay, I have an update.
Yep.
This is eBay labels, so this is
Okay.
not, across the board, but it's part of eBay's negotiated rates with the post office. But yeah, Priority and Ground Advantage are both up to 100.
Yep. I actually
Built
see it.
in.
Google AI told me too. It's 100.
Google, yeah.
Well, I was looking on the shipping label page. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm not sure if that's the same for all sellers, like if sellers who don't have a store, or I don't know if there's a difference in any
Well,
of that.
it says it on USPS.com. Are $100 insurance included on USPS?
Oh, so that's not part of it.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was a time where
It was
you would
only
get
that.
more well, you got more coverage if you printed through.
I wonder if that was the first class.
Yeah, it might have been. It might have
Yeah,
been.
yeah.
I was like, I'm just remembering this from a long
Yeah,
time
so
ago.
yeah, because
So maybe that's standard now.
Yeah, up to 70 pounds. So, which
Yeah.
so there you have it, guys. So Glenn, you don't have to ship Priority now.
Okay, got it.
Um,
I only thing I hate
well,
though
on
is Ground Advantage
eBay.
and how long it takes to get there.
Well, right now it's not right. You're correct. Right now it's not that much difference.
It's less than a day on
you-
average.
During non-peak hours, non-peak season, they're almost the same because
Okay.
I really think
Yeah.
they're on the same truck. I really think they get shipped on the same truck because I'm tracking certain stuff, and Priority and USPS Ground Advantage get there at the same time to the hub. It's more likely on peak season because I know
Priority
this for,
gets priority.
yeah, because when I use the only one other job that I've had was a seasonal worker at USPS at the hub in Cincinnati. There's a priority kind of like buckets versus the first class buckets, and priority gets loaded first, and then if there's more space in the truck, the other services gets loaded after. So and most likely during holiday season, everybody's using priority and express shipping. And while we're at that topic, make sure you add priority shipping now.
Oh, that's a good one.
Priority and expedited option. On expedited option, I do UPS because it's closer to me. Because obviously, when the customer's in a hurry, you want to be able to drop off at the closest location. So I've usually just added UPS overnight and just do calculated for that, and then I usually add $10 handling on the just for my snacks on the way to the drop off.
To rush it.
Yeah, because I go through Chick-fil-A on the way there, so that covers the Chick-fil-A meal. And also find out the cutoff time for your UPS expedited services. So mine's at 7 p.m. So the regular are noon and 5 p.m. and then the express is at 7 p.m. So that's always good to know, because when a lot of people say like I need it tomorrow or in 2 days, you could still fulfill that up till 7 p.m. So that's
Got it.
pro tip right there.
Okay, I have a question. This made
Yep.
me think of. Are you guys looking ahead at the calendar, like October, November, December, and blocking off any particular parts of those months for work or for extra shipping, or like, are you looking ahead at any of that? Or do you typically have certain weeks or something where you're like, I've got to just buckle down and not commit to any other holiday stuff? Or like, is this the time of year where you even look at that, or you just take it as it comes?
October 1st. I don't have a life. I'm just joking. October 1st. What calendar?
What calendar?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think because I'm doing a little bit different things than
Yeah.
last year.
This
I
year,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna play out too, and I feel like maybe just the more the better at this point, and just kind of roll with it. And if I do need help, you'll turn into like a UPS and start hiring some workers too.
Some randoms.
Yeah. Just kind of go with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good tip, Anna. What me and JC usually have done previously is during how on just kind of like Q4. Once it hits Q4, you get the vibes. Everybody's wearing hoodies. Once I see hoodie around, once you start rocking hoodies, we start shipping earlier on weekends. Most of the time we start shipping Saturdays. That's one of the things that we've always done. That way the Saturday afternoon purchases in the Sunday is lighter on Monday. So
Yeah.
that's what we've always done, and throughout the week we just kind of like just be more proactive about, okay, I see 10 items sold already, let's start pulling that, because that's always the kind of like, I guess, pulling stuff is kind of like what takes longer. So yeah, just trying to get ahead, trying to maybe that's a good thing when you're talking about calendar. If you're a calendar person or just trying to create a schedule, is try to set time, right? Like, okay, every Saturday morning I'm just gonna ship first 2 hours, or kind of like get ahead, because the last thing you want to do in Q4 is get behind,
Yeah, and be
Yeah.
like
because
drowning on Monday or whatever.
there's never recovering. I feel like if you get behind, you can't recover. It'll be hard. You lose
Not
sleep.
with that attitude.
You lose sleep.
Yeah.
And
It's hard to get back on top of it.
yeah.
Better to stay ahead of it. I agree. What are you guys doing in terms of checking your inventory or even like clearing stuff out? Like, I know for me, looking ahead to sourcing in Q4, I'm trying to like get some of my money back faster so I can be ready for sourcing. But also this is a whole other story, but I am moving my inventory to a location outside of my house for the first time since I lived in Illinois, which just is a good time to be like consolidating and double checking stuff anyway. So I've been doing some inventory check stuff for that reason too. But what are you guys doing about that? Anything?
Nothing really different on that side of things.
Well, you just got everything all like
Organized,
stocked and
So
locked.
you're done.
and
So you're
yeah.
done. He's done.
You just did yours early.
Golly.
Yeah,
Well,
that did help, but
yeah, that's my goal this month. We're not doing anything fun.
just working.
Good to know you don't think this podcast is fun, Ken.
Just,
Oh yeah.
just working and ready to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things is, maybe after this week I'm pretty much done kind of like touching the summer wares. I think last 2 weeks I tried to kind of like final mark down a lot of the summer items that we have, and just trying to see what I can recoup with that. But besides that, there's still gonna be a good stocking stuffer for like cheap $20 items.
Yeah.
I think that would be something cool, right? Maybe like price everything at $50 and run a 50% off sale and call it a stocking stuffer coupon or something like that. For anybody that's looking for $25 deals.
Well, that's another item on my list is what about setting up your marketing plan for Q4?
Oh golly, I'm not
Not there yet.
not there yet. What
That's
about
a
you,
different
Glenn?
episode.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
feel like
different
we're-
episode of my life.
to be honest, I think we're gonna have to talk to Jen Deal again before
Yeah.
we make those strategies, because
Yeah.
I bet she'll have some really good insight into that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's still like Halloween. You know what I'm saying? What other holidays are coming up? There's still Thanksgiving. There's still quite a few. Like, and I feel like that's when I've always say this. Like, once it gets colder, I feel like everybody's just at home chilling, trying to shop. So,
Yeah, that's true too.
and watching football. We're not gonna talk about football. Sorry about your team, Glenn.
No, we don't want to talk about that right now.
We're just gonna
We're
avoid that one
doing good.
altogether.
We're
We were doing good.
We don't want to go off the rails here. All right.
Well, I'll keep us from going off the rails and just
Okay.
say one thing like that I'm doing right now real life, real time prepping for Q4 is getting all my habits back in order when it comes to processing inventory, because like I said, I'm about to be moving my stuff, not my whole house, thank God, but just my inventory, about 160 bins, I think. So I'm trying to get the new stuff that's coming in back into those well-worn pathways of what works really well for me. And here's what it sounds like: sourcing, and then any kind of like removing tags, elbow grease, cleaning stuff up, especially the vintage and used kind of stuff. Then I'm logging it, I'm titling it, I'm pricing it. So it's all totally ready to go. Basically everything but photos is done. And I sort it so that when I'm taking photos of, say, like jackets or something, I do all the jackets back to back, so I don't have to keep switching gears in my mind of what I'm taking photos of or having someone take photos of. And then I'm assigning those bins and making those listings. So that's my normal process. And over the last couple months, I've been really loosey-goosey about it. I still have cherry-picked stuff out and listed it, but I haven't been like just pushing everything through in that order. And that to date, like over, 8 years has been the best way for me to like prevent bottlenecks and not get any like important information falling through the cracks. So that's what I'm trying to do, force myself back into my best habits, because when things get busy, we revert to, we default to things, right? And so I want that to be my default is to do things that way. So I'm resetting those defaults right now. But definitely for having, goals of obviously selling a lot, but also sourcing a lot while I'm selling a lot, I really want those to be my go-to processes, and stay like committed to that when things get busy.
Gotta stick with the process. That's what we gotta do. Because if not, then
that's what we're trying to do.
Then stuff gets left behind. That's how death piles start. And
right.
We can't have that.
Inventory gets mismanaged.
Yeah, and then you after all the selling season, and you look at your inventory, it's like, crap, I still have 10 of these, and somebody was asking for 5 more.
Right.
That's a heartbreaker.
And that's not necessarily something that I recall having to do to like hard reset myself last year going into Q4. But, I've got my sights set differently, I guess, on how I want this Q4 to go. So I want to ask you guys that, like, is there anything you're doing this year right now that is a little bit different, or a little bit from a different approach, like going into this particular Q4?
Well, inventory wise is definitely different. I didn't have this many hats or anything last year. But I think last year, too, I was doing probably more whatnot than anything. So this eBay store is definitely getting like a second chance to live.
To prove itself worthy of your time.
So that's really going to be a difference from last year to this year. And
yeah.
I mean, I am excited to have just kind of like, I'm not excited for slower sales, but I want to be more profitable by not having to...
Less volume, you mean?
Less grind.
Less grind, yeah.
Yeah. Less grind, more merry. More
plenty
merry,
of hustle.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That's not going anywhere.
Insane. I mean, so many of these sellers are just like, I've seen
just
the same shows, over and over and over again. And I think that's kind of scary too, when you get like pallets full of stuff, and we get so many people, at least me and Ken also they would tell us, like, man, if I can only get a pallet of 500 pieces, 1,000 pieces, and we would tell them too, like, can you even handle 5,000 or 1,000 pieces, 500 pieces? What would you even do if you had that? And when you actually get it in hand, you're like, okay, this is a totally different monster.
And then the worst part is they're the same size and the same color.
And the same SKU, same color, same size. And you're like, okay.
That's why you go whatnot.
That's
that's when you just move it fast and fingers crossed you break even.
Oh my gosh.
Because once
that life is not for me, you guys.
Once you start voluming, you see it. Go to live selling platforms, and to a point they're doing 2-second sudden death. How?
Yeah, I mean,
2 seconds.
It's interesting though, like stepping back from that. Like, I'm very curious to see what it's like for you to kind of roll it back and not be
I'm
because
curious.
you get to the edge, right? And you look
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
precipice and you're like, wow, I can see where this is going and I don't want to go all the way there.
No,
Like,
I'm
that's-
curious to see how Glenn will feel. This guy's gonna
Yeah.
be all smiles. This guy's probably gonna gain weight. He's gonna eat more ice cream.
He's even nice and jolly.
Yeah.
Vegan ice cream, Ken.
Yeah, exactly. There's some
Dairy
good
free.
options there.
Yeah.
But no, because I felt ran down for at least a year after I did that, and I feel like now this Q4 I'm gonna feel better.
Yeah.
The further the volume game is, until we have an automated warehouse, volume game's not it.
Right. But that doesn't mean growing your inventory is not it.
Oh, always. You always gotta grow inventory, and to grow inventory, Anna, what do we need?
Well, I don't know about you, but I need capital.
We all need capital.
Why are we so cheesy?
Glenn,
So funny.
Glenn, what do you need to buy more inventory?
Capital?
Yeah.
What do you need to buy more inventory?
No, more money. Cause
Yeah.
more money, more problems.
Money with a capital M, I guess. Is that what capital means? Just kidding.
Yeah.
I know what capital
Yeah.
means.
Well, part of the Q4 prep that we're gonna be doing is game planning, sourcing, and I think most of the people that are listening here and that we know of, and if you're listening to this podcast, I believe in you that you're already a good buyer. And when you're already a good buyer, you start seeing more opportunity. When there's more opportunity, that means you need more money. And when you need more money and your pocket money runs out, you need to use other services that now eBay provides, which me and Glenn have used different other providers previously, but now it's all tied into eBay.
Well, this is one part of prepping for Q4 that I have never really done. Because I never, until like the last couple of years, I really haven't looked at Q4 as a big sourcing opportunity, but it really is. And so, not wanting to miss out on that, like I have been using, at first I was just like, okay, I have a business credit card. I'm going to use that. Great. Like obviously responsibly, right? But like now eBay Seller Capital is something we've talked about. They have a couple of different ways, of borrowing money that basically takes, your repayments come right out of your eBay sales and all of that. So anyway, we actually had the chance to talk to eBay Seller Capital like directly. So we're going to share an interview with you guys that kind of runs through all of that in case it's a tool that you want to use while you're sourcing now, or probably maybe by the time you're hearing this, it'll almost be Q4 anyway, but during Q4 and beyond. And we, as with anything that we recommend, like on the podcast or that we promote, like, I mean, we've used it, we both have really like it and it's worked well and really boosted our businesses a lot. So, it's not maybe for everyone, but it's definitely something to consider. And I really believe that if you're going to borrow money, you definitely need to have a plan, right?
Yep.
Like you shouldn't just be borrowing money willy-nilly to do stuff in your business. So when you have a strategy and you have a good reason, like then you can have a good product to actually use to do that. So that's what we're going to show you guys.
Huge shout out to eBay for partnering with us and sponsoring this podcast, and stay tuned for the interview.
Well, guys, it's time for our feature way of preparing for Q4, and we have a very special guest with us to discuss this. So, special guest, I'll let you introduce yourself, but we want to know who you are, what you do, and why you're so passionate about it.
Thanks so much for having me. Hello, everyone. I'm Jitin Raj Nair, and I lead the eBay Seller Capital North America business. I've been at eBay for around 7 years now, and what I really love about my role is getting to work on products that make a real tangible impact for sellers. Access to financing can be such a game changer for small and medium businesses, and it's incredibly rewarding to help create solutions that remove barriers and give sellers more opportunities. Now, as most of you know, we at eBay, we've always been about empowering entrepreneurs. And
Yes.
you know that eBay is the home of the accidental entrepreneur, as we put it. And for me, it's always fulfilling to see how the work we do translates into real growth for the seller community. I'm excited to be here today to share more about how eBay Seller Capital works, what makes it unique compared to traditional financing options, and how sellers in our community are using it to power their growth.
Awesome.
Yep. So super excited about this conversation that we're gonna be having. You know, as we have talked about, September is our Q4 prep, and this is the tactical side. And one of the uh, things that we love about the business is sourcing. But
That's
what
the
I
most fun, right?
that's the most fun, right? But the you lose the fun when you run out of money.
Yeah,
It's not as
100%.
fun anymore when you see opportunity and you don't have the
Right.
capital to
When
buy
you see it
that.
passing you by,
Yes,
it's a
exactly.
bummer.
So that is definitely a feeling that every eBay seller probably have felt at least once. Um, and as you get better at selling and getting to know the inventory that you want, um, I feel like capital is the one that gets lagged behind. Obviously, we have bills to pay, we have to manage our cash flow and stuff like that. So super exciting, and it's a very perfect timing for this to talk about
It really
eBay seller
is.
capital.
I mean, me and you are focused on sourcing this Q4, Ken, but
Yep.
I know there's a lot of other reasons why sellers might need capital also. So I'm hoping Jitin will tell us a lot more about that. But I had this thought also while you were introducing yourself, which is maybe the bridge, maybe the moment that you change from an accidental entrepreneur to an on purpose or maybe an intentional entrepreneur is when you start using capital.
Exactly.
Right? When you start thinking about your plan for capital and not just going where the wind blows you. So, anyway, I would love to hear some more about all this. It's obviously something Ken and I have been using and loving, but we want to share with everybody, how this might fit into their own business. And I'm sure 7 years at eBay is a long time too. So, what kind of challenges have you noticed sellers having? What kind of challenges have you noticed sellers having running their small businesses? Like, what are the problems people are facing that you guys are solving?
Absolutely, and it's funny because with product management, one of the things that it gets drilled into us is always start with the problems. Right, always start with the problem statement. So you guys might have a flair for this. uh,
Oh,
so,
we're really good at finding problems. There's always problems to be found.
but thank you so much for starting with the problem statement, Anna.
Sure.
No, SMBs are the lifeblood of the U.S. economy, right? But traditional financing institutions simply are not meeting their financing needs. Now, I read a Goldman Sachs survey recently where I saw that 77% of small businesses are concerned about their ability to access capital.
That
Right?
tracks.
Access to financing is limited because of insufficient revenue, lack of credit history, and seasonality in general, right? And that's just on the eligibility standpoint, from an eligibility
Right.
standpoint, what makes the process even more cumbersome is the long application times, rigid payment terms, and this essentially results in SMBs' capital needs being underpinned by fear, right, uncertainty, and doubt. Right? And in doing so, what happens is they are unable to efficiently allocate their time and focus on what's really important, which is operating and growing their business. This is essentially where eBay comes in and eBay Seller Capital comes in, right? eBay's
Right.
mission is to connect people and create economic opportunity for all. We have 2.3 billion live listings. It's one of the largest online marketplaces, millions of buyers and sellers across 190 markets that rely on eBay to buy and sell, like hard to find collectibles, pre-loved electronics, and sneakers can,
Yep, for sure.
Don't worry, Ken. Still, a lot of people love the sneakers out there.
So we see ourselves as a growth partner for small businesses and help them thrive in an increasingly competitive marketplace. So yeah, these are some of the issues that we've seen with respect to financing.
No, I mean, totally agree on that one. I mean, I think, speaking from experience, I think I've recognized it early on that financing was really against kind of like my situation in the early days of building my business. And that's always been kind of like the challenge of trying to find one particular experience about when you mentioned traditional financing is, I've been banking with this bank since I started the business. Went in there, and next thing you know, they needed paperwork, and I was like, okay, let me get some papers
Let's
printed.
collect the papers.
Yeah,
That's always a
and
fun process.
right, and one is to just go there and talk to the manager is already intimidating enough. You get put in the office. I felt like I'm always in trouble.
You're in the
growing up.
principal's office.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's not, and it's not to their fault. It's just the traditional way of financing that
Yeah.
it feels like it's an interrogation. It's like, what do you sell? Where do you sell? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have a brick and mortar? And every time I say, do you have a every time I hear that, I'm just like, oh no. Denial right off the rip, because
Yeah.
they
You don't think I'm real.
they don't understand e-commerce, right? Like, what you sell stuff on the internet, right? And it's like, yeah, and it's like, do you know like eBay? Like, eBay, and that's, I truly kind of like 100% agree on those challenges that you have mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's about the industry perception, right? I mean, there are certain
Right.
industries, especially within the online world, where they're considered as high risk by lenders, right? If you think about the one thing that lenders look for, traditional lenders look for,
Right.
it's collateral, right?
Yeah.
And if you have a predominantly online marketplace, you don't have a brick and mortar presence,
Yeah.
banks are simply unwilling to lend because
Yeah.
they just don't have anything to collateralize this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head too, just talking about how much doubt and uncertainty there is, especially for that accidental entrepreneur, right? It's like you didn't go to business school, you don't know how this is supposed to work, you feel like you're in the principal's office when you go to
Yep.
talk to somebody at a bank. But at the same time, like, you understand hopefully the basic equation of like it taking money to make money, right? And I know that that's one reason people are sitting on the bench and watching opportunities pass them by, is because of that kind of uncertainty and fear and doubt around all of this, right? Because nobody wants to get in over their head or not be responsible, but also it's just hard enough to find a way to have access to capital, which I think is really where you guys have just flung the door open for sellers in a way that they haven't had access to before. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say just about why those traditional ways are not good for sellers? Like, I'm curious, what you've heard working with so many sellers and just hearing what they're up against.
Absolutely, a bunch of reasons, right? I mean, if you think about the experience that's offered by traditional banks, it's clunky, it's inefficient, and it's very stressful. Like just listening to Ken speak about his experience earlier as well. If you think about the application experience, the traditional loan application process is extremely time consuming, right? There was a report that I read recently where more than half of the banks that process these applications take over 10 days, 10 business
Yeah.
days to make a decision, which can be a
Yeah.
significant hurdle for
Yeah.
SMBs.
Yeah,
You
I
might
already,
have-
yeah, I
you
already lost
missed
the
the
deal.
opportunity. Yeah,
Already lost the
exactly.
deal.
Exactly. Your business moves at the speed of light. Right? You don't have
Yeah.
time to wait for
Right.
a business or a bank to come back to you with a decision after weeks. Right. That's just one. Right? Let's say you do manage to kind of sit through that process. Your chance of approval is really low. It speaks to what we were talking about earlier as well. Right. The approval rates are really low because, let's face it, sometimes the credit history is limited, right? Many SMBs have a limited or less than ideal credit history, which significantly hinders their ability to secure financing, right? I don't know if you've seen the SBDC report. 36% of small businesses that were denied funding were cited their credit score as their primary reason, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and if you think about the revenue volatility when it comes to e-commerce SMBs, right? Many experience fluctuating revenue, seasonality, changing consumer demand, and for traditional banks, they prefer a predictable revenue stream. Right? They're not
Right.
able to underwrite a thriving e-commerce business, right? And all of this results in obviously the chance of an approval for an SMB going really low. And let's say you do get approved, right? The repayment process is often super rigid, right? It comes with fixed monthly payments, and this rigidity can strain businesses during slower sales periods, making it difficult to meet the repayment obligations, right? If you have seasonality
Right.
and you expect the same fixed monthly payment every month, it's a problem.
Yeah, so in that case, if you didn't have fear or doubt before, you get that rigid fixed monthly payment and you start having some as soon as Q4 is over.
They'll make you.
Yes,
They'll
which is
give
not,
it to you.
which is not great. I mean, I was curious about that just because honestly, I never did try to go a traditional route to fund anything for my business. Besides having like a business credit card, like eBay Seller Capital has really opened things up for me, and I totally stayed away from all of that, and probably missed out on tons of growth, because I didn't try to access anything like that. But I was very intimidated by it, and I just figured, yeah, I'm not going to make it through the approval process because of the nature of, how my business like looks on paper, or all the different, paperwork processes and all that. I mean, I didn't even try. I was like, I'll just keep rolling forward at whatever pace my business can provide the capital, which in some ways is really safe, but that's not the only strategy, and it's definitely not like a growth strategy compared to what I can do now. So anyway, I just wanted to ask a little more about that. So obviously you guys are seeing at eBay, you guys are seeing all of these challenges and all these pain points, right, that sellers are up against, and you're probably asking them and listening to them because we know that that's what eBay does, and we absolutely love that. So then from there, you started with the problem and you had to design a solution for it. How did you guys do that? Like, how did you step in and say, you know what, we can handle your seasonality and your volatility and all of that stuff and still give you a solution? Like, how did that happen?
There are millions of small businesses and entrepreneurs on our global platform, and eBay understands the unique financial challenges faced by business owners. We've spoken to a lot of sellers like yourselves to understand what some of the needs for financing are, what some of the problems that they're faced with when they look for financing and capital outside of our platform. And one thing is clear, right? Sellers want to grow, and sellers want to grow on eBay. So
For
there
sure.
isn't, right? And what they've made it clear through, interviews that we've had with them is that they need a solution to address some of the pain points that we talked about earlier. They need access to financing fast, quick, straightforward access, right? They need capital on demand with payments that adjust to their sales cycles. And what they want is a solution that is integrated into their eBay ecosystem. They don't want to manage multiple platforms. So what they want to do is ensure that everything kind of is a seamless experience from start to end. So when we look to relaunch the program, we decided to kind of design it from the ground up to address these specific pain points. Financing is not a new industry. It's been around for decades,
Yeah, really long time.
really, really long time, right? But what we needed was a solution that works for our sellers, and that's exactly what we tried to do when we relaunched the eBay Seller Capital program. And we're looking to improve constantly. So we're nowhere close to where we want to be, but I know that we'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I like about what you mentioned was the seamless integration. I think that was very key. That's very key for speed, right? And one of the things that I've heard, just talking to different sellers, like when before this became a product, it's like, why don't eBay provide this? They already know our store better than a bank would, right? Like than an external financial provider would. And that was the thing that we've kind of talked to multiple people. It's like, hey, capital program would be great, because there were other capital programs that we have experienced previously before eBay had their own
Right, that
payment,
were not seamless and integrated.
exactly, because
Yeah.
you have to go to multiple, right, and just it's just another layer, because we have bills to pay, and then now there's another website that I have to go to make sure that that's managed, and seamless integration. I think you guys have done it well, and I think you have mentioned it too during eBay Open, that it only takes 3 clicks to get qualified, and I think that is amazing.
Sounds like you were listening to the presentation.
I was. I'm trying to because as Jitin said, they're continually evolving and trying to get better. Because when I did it, I think it was 5. About 5 or 6, 5 or 6, right? But
Just eliminated some of those.
But listen to this. This is one of the things that we came up with. Just chit chatting during our session. We didn't even touch paper. Oh, what about that? We're saving trees now.
Right? I was trying to think of like a great comeback for that, about something about you didn't touch paper, but then you like got all the paper, like the money that you got deposited.
Wow, that would be
but
a
that also
great-
wasn't physical paper, you know?
Right. Yeah, I didn't have to touch paper. Neither I didn't have to touch money too, because it went straight to my bank.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Man, it's come such a long way from, buyers mailing in their money orders to pay for their items and their
Yep.
cash and their change. Like, man, it's just so crazy how far everything has come. But I want to ask, just for anybody who's listening, because Ken and I have talked about this a little bit on the podcast, just our own experience and as we've been using eBay Seller Capital. But Jason, can you just run us through the program itself and kind of what is the opportunity for sellers? Like, I'm sure there are some sellers listening to this who are interested in trying it.
Absolutely. Our eBay Seller Capital strategy centers around providing tailored financing solutions through a multi-product, multi-lender approach. Now,
Okay.
eBay sellers in key markets such as the US, UK, and Germany have access to a range of funding options to grow their business. Now, by leveraging eBay's rich data on its sellers, we work with our partners to offer customized financing that aligns with the seller's performance. And this provides flexibility and speed and makes the entire experience seamless. So our sellers get access to financing options that are, for eBay sellers, right? So eBay has this, like as I mentioned, this unique advantage of having access to our sales data. We know our sellers, right? It allows our partners to offer financing that's tailored and closely aligned with a seller's business performance, right? So which means that the funding amount that you get access to and the repayment schedule is customized to a specific seller's sales cycle. This ensures that there's affordability and flexibility.
Right.
And like you mentioned, Ken, right? 3 clicks. That's the ethos of the program. Right? The application process for eBay's eBay Seller Capital's financing products is quick and user friendly. Right? Eligible sellers can apply in as little as like 3 minutes and receive funding fairly rapidly, usually in 12 to 24 hours.
Yeah, that's been my experience. And it is like, the offers and things that I was looking at and considering were different than what Ken saw on his screen when he went to look for, whatever was available to him. So I really appreciate that, especially thinking back to the whole idea of doubt and uncertainty. And, like I said, one of the things I've heard from other sellers over the years who haven't used leveraged any kind of financing for their stores, like they don't want to get in over their head, right? That's like the fear everybody has of that rigid fixed payment. What if I can't make it because my sales are low this month, etc. But I love that there is this tailored approach that's built in so that the thing that you're being offered is appropriately sized for your store. That's been considered on the basis of a wholesale cycle. Like, I think that is really unique as far as what other funding might be available out there. That gives me a lot of peace of mind that it's not just me doing my own math on an envelope. Like, what's being offered to me is appropriate. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, like during your, like you mentioned, right, the flexible payment schedules means that during a slower sales periods, your payments are reduced, which can help remove some of the financial stress on your business, right? So that I believe is the true value proposition of the product.
Yeah.
Right? It's built for an eBay seller, and as you mentioned, Ken, everything is integrated into your eBay seller hub, so you can see there's your sales history along with the amount that has gone towards payments and the amount that's remaining. Right, so everything is out there. It's transparent. It's so that's what we try to do with the experience.
Yeah, what I like about what I see in the dashboard is, the number doesn't give me that fear and doubt if I'm gonna pay it because of the certain percentage that's only taken out of my sales. So that alleviates that. So the focus actually points towards not me paying faster, it's actually me selling more, which I like.
Yes,
I like
agree
to
with
be
that.
positively reinforced and saying like, hey, the hustle bee, if you want to pay this down fast, sell more. So I was like, wait, that is a great idea.
It is a great idea, isn't it?
yeah. So now it pushed me, okay, I need to list more, I need to acquire more products, I need to sell more. I need to make sure that everything in my eBay store is top shape. That way, it gets to the customers that's wanting to buy it. So, and then the payment takes care of it. And I mean, as a matter of fact, my first round of using the product, which you can tell us, I used the business cash advance first. They quoted me, it's like, you will pay this within 100 days. And I took it personal. And that's when I said, no, I'm not. I'm going to pay it in record breaking time. I was just making it my own. I didn't know what record was there. I was like, I was just going to beat your quote and I'm just going to overachieve. So,
how many days?
48.
Nice.
Oh,
instead of
nice.
100. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So which actually, as a seller, as a small business owner, you're thinking about a lot of things. But these are kind of a very possibly reinforcing, rewarding feeling that I feel when I sell. And it's like, okay, when I sell a product, that means like my cash advance is getting paid off faster. So Jitin, why don't you walk us through the different products, because I mentioned one of them.
Yeah, and we haven't tried all of them, so
Yeah.
tell us about all of them.
Absolutely. And before I get to that, I just want to kind of
Yeah.
address that point that you made. And that's the core principle of what eBay is built on and eBay Seller Capital is built on, right? We don't compete with our sellers. Our success is in our seller's success, right?
Yeah.
So when you sell on eBay, we succeed, right? Similarly, with eBay Seller Capital, if you sell on eBay, you make payments and your payments are tied to your sales, right? So that's essentially the core principle of our product.
And
But yeah,
they're always automatic, right? Like, I mean, every product I've used, I think the payment is automatic, so I don't even have to go make it. It just dumps it in there at the end of every day. But I don't know if that's true for every product, so I won't say that across the board. But I love that the ones I've used are automatic, and I literally don't even have to think about it. I just watch that number go down, and it's great.
that is correct. I mean, we have products that we have traditional products as well, but the product that you've used, Anna, the business cash advance, and the one that you've used, Ken, the flexible cash advance, are both products that allow you to make automated payments. So it's
Yeah.
basically a hands-free experience. The moment you get funding, all you have to do is focus on your business and focus on
Just sell.
growing.
Yeah.
Everything else is going to be handled automatically.
Awesome.
Perfect. So the business cash advance, to Ken's point, the business cash advance product, which is BCA, is powered by our lending partner, Liberus. Sellers can avail capital ranging from $500 all the way up to $1 million. This is our most popular option. You'll get a lump sum, you pay back as a percentage of your daily eBay sales. As mentioned before, if you have a slow day with no sales, you make no payments. It's a fixed fee product, which means that when you get approved for an amount, they will attribute a one-time fee to the amount that you got. And then the total amount, that the amount you got plus the fee is what you pay back. There is no interest, which means that you know exactly what you're getting into, which is different from how traditional financing works, which is
Totally.
interest-based. Right. So if you know what happens if you miss a payment, the total amount you pay back balloons, right? That's not what happens with the BCA. You know exactly what you're going to pay back at any given point in time.
Right. And that's really important because I think sometimes people, hear, oh, there's a percentage involved. But the percentage involved is the percentage of your sales that goes to pay off that fixed balance. There's not a percentage of like interest on the balance. And so that should be super clear to people, hopefully, by the end of this episode.
Absolutely. And we also have the flexible cash advance, which is, I would say, the next step in the evolution to a BCA. It's very similar to a BCA, but with additional flexibility, right? Think of this as you getting access to a pool of funds that you can draw from on demand whenever you need it. It has the same flexible sales-based payment, which means that you make payments from your daily sales for the amount that you've actually taken out. So let's say, for example, you get approved for an account of $100,000. At that point, you have zero obligations. You can decide to take money from it or you can decide not to. Right? And let's say 2 months down the line, you decide that I want to take out $10,000 from that pool. You do take it out at that point. The one-time fee will be applied to the $10,000 that you took out, not the entire $100,000.
Right,
and then
right.
you pay back only the $10,000 that you've taken out. And as you pay back, the original account gets replenished. But that's not to say that you have to pay back the entire 10,000 to take more money. You can take out 10,000 one day, the next day you can take out another 20 up to the limit that you've been approved for. It's very similar to how a credit card would work without the interest rate.
Yeah, right. So the business cash advance, the first one, is just one lump sum. And this is more like there's a big pool and you can take out multiple lump sums as you need them up to that amount that is the total pool.
Right. And yep, I think that's a really great product to as a business owner to just kind of have a peace of mind that there is access to capital when you need it the most. And that is one product that I am sitting on right now that I have been approved and I've made multiple draws. So again, now I'm just trying to break records again, trying to pay it fast.
And you mentioned you have traditional options too. Can you tell us about that in case anybody loves to have a fixed payment?
Absolutely. We work with our partner iBusiness Funding to provide up to $500,000 in funding with fixed monthly payments. It's a term loan. It's a traditional product. This is for the seller who's seeking stable, predictable revenue options. Sometimes it happens you want that predictability. You don't know exactly how much money is going to go out of your account every single month, and that's where your traditional options come in. But the good thing about all of these options is that applying does not hurt your credit. So, because our lenders only do a soft credit check. Like it's
Gotcha.
truly a risk-free way to check what your business may be eligible for, right? So go ahead, apply, and see what options you're getting, what offers you're getting, and make an informed decision. At that point, you're not obligated to move forward, and neither does it hurt your credit.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think I always say there's like 101 ways to have a successful business on eBay. So it totally stands to reason that there should be different products that kind of fit different business models better. But, by the same token, like different sellers have different challenges. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what have you seen people use the money for? Because like for me, I'm definitely thinking inventory, thinking Q4 sourcing, but I'm sure there's other ways that people use it. So
Absolutely. I mean, these solutions are designed to give eBay sellers easy access to the capital that they need to invest in inventory, like you said, which is the most common option that we see. I mean, you want to take advantage of that perfect deal at short notice, right? That's where this fast financing helps. You can use it to market your products better. I mean, if you have not checked out promoted listings at eBay yet, please do so. It's a great way to market your product to the broader buyer population. You can use it to expand operations, hire employees, delivery vehicles, build a warehouse, and in general, seize new opportunities. So this financing that eBay Seller Capital offers is not just for increasing your inventory stock. It's also to invest in different areas of your business to help you grow strategically and set yourself up for success in the future.
awesome. I suspected people use it for other things. I mean, honestly, it makes me think about the Up and Running grants, right? I was a grant winner years ago, and that was incredible. And obviously, when you applied for that, you had to kind of say, here's what I'm planning on using the money for. But also, like, you have autonomy as a business owner. If there's other things that come up that are more important to your business, like, you can spend the money on that. Nobody's checking to make sure that you spend it on exactly inventory or whatever. Like, there's a lot of different things that go into running a successful business, and you might need capital to support a number of those things. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely,
really
absolutely, and pardon me for a brag here, but
cool. Do it.
I'm like super pleased to share that to the eBay Seller Capital Program, we've connected eBay sellers with well over 100 million in working capital this year.
Wow. In 20,
So,
wow, that's amazing.
yep, and super excited about that. And it's just not the number; it's about what that number represents, right? Each dollar from
Right.
that represents growth for
Right.
sellers, right? And that's exactly what I'm excited about.
Over 100 million in the last year. That is wild. Jitin, can you tell us like a case study of somebody who's used eBay Seller Capital?
Oh, absolutely. I have loads, but there's this wonderful seller that my mind keeps coming back to. I'm sure you guys know her, Stephanie Franco.
Yes,
She's
Lady Suburbia. Shout
Yeah.
out, Stephanie.
Yes, she owns the eBay store, Lady Suburbia. She began, I'm sure you know her story, but she began reselling items she found in her garage and in thrift stores and on eBay as a part-time hobby in 2017. During the pandemic, though, she lost several of her marketing clients and decided to kind of formalize her eBay venture, moving from that accidental entrepreneur to like a formal entrepreneur. And last year, she received a cash advance from Libris, the business cash advance, to bridge her summer sales slowdown and invest in inventory for the holiday season. And Stephanie, when I spoke to Stephanie, she said she really loved the automated payment system. It deducted a percentage of her daily sales. The application process for her was very straightforward and quick, and she found the terms to be favorable. And the money that she got had I would say a dramatic positive impact on her business. Like with the extra capital, she was able to confidently experiment and explore new product categories, including DVDs,
Yes.
clothing, toys, and books, and she was able to kind of discover new profitable avenues for her business. She also rented a storage unit. It solved her inventory storage limitations and helped her kind of expand her business further. And I was really happy to see that she tripled her eBay listings, and she experienced a 55% increase in sales between 2023 and 2024, and in
Wow.
just 6 months. I think it was August to December 2024. She generated the same amount of sales as she did in the entire year of 2023. So it was really impressive how she was able to use the capital to kind of grow her business. And um, no matter what I say, what numbers I throw out, it won't do justice to her story. And
I
I know,
know. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, Stephanie's the fire and you guys are the fuel. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
she
and
is such an entrepreneur.
I think it'll be remiss if you don't allow your listeners to kind of hear a story in her own words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do
for
that.
sure. So let's insert that clip, and before we insert that clip, make sure you watch and go to eBay on YouTube and just look for Stephanie Franco, and you'll see the whole video. But here's a quick clip of Stephanie's story.
I decided to apply for eBay Seller Capital Program. So I wanted to scale up my business and I needed that capital to do so. The process was straightforward and easy. It just took a few minutes to apply, and within a few days, I received funding. I was able to lower my cost of goods. I now rent a storage unit where I can sell all that extra inventory. I literally have gone from 200 listings to nearly 700. eBay offers a lot of flexibility as a seller, and it allows me to grow as my business grows as well. I'm able to attend my family's events, my kids' soccer games. I get to pick up my son from school. eBay Seller Capital Program empowers me to be the businesswoman that I want, the mother that I aspire to be, and the seller that's making strides on a global scale.
That's awesome. I just love Stephanie. I remember meeting her in San Jose on
Yep.
eBay's campus and hearing some of that story from her when I was just asking her about herself and getting to know her. But so cool. She is just a great example of how exponential your growth can be, right? When you have the right tools and you have access to what you need. So, Ken and I obviously are both customers also of eBay Seller Capital.
Yep.
And we've talked about that a little bit. Ken, do you want to say anything else here about just your journey with it so far?
Well, I will never stop and get tired of sharing this story, only because it was definitely business changing for us. Our goal this year was to really get to the next level. And, being a business owner, there's always going to be ups and downs, but you kind of like look at the big picture. From 23 to 24, we kind of have like a 1% growth in sales. So we really didn't grow the revenue in the business that much, because a lot of that was just challenges on trying to find better products. And I didn't want to settle on buying a lower quality product just to push out revenue. But what I discovered in 2025 is there are bigger bulk buys that were available to be bought. And this challenged me because now I'm spending more in a short amount of time, right? Like I might have spent 50,000 in a 6 month span, but now it required me to spend 50,000 in a week.
Right.
And
Real
so
fast.
real fast. And this was the challenge that I faced, and I definitely reached out to all the possible financing options that I had. I mean, definitely emptied out my cash flow, my credit card, and everything like that. And then obviously saw eBay's seller capital program, and I tested it, and it really lifted us. So because of that effect, we are in September right now, and I got my first cash advance in January. We are gonna go to Q4 bigger than ever. So we're gonna have more inventory hitting to Q4 this year than ever. And I was just looking at my dashboard. We are, compared to last year to date, we are 71% up on our revenue.
Yeah, this was my first year also using any of these products. And I actually started with the Business Cash Advance and tried that out. Kind of similar. I needed a lift in my business really bad because a couple years ago at this point, it feels like it's been so long, but I moved halfway across the country and moved my inventory with me. And I downsized a lot, getting ready for that. I stopped listing new things for about a year around the move. And then once I got here, I also just kept on kind of downsizing because I had a different storage situation and, you know, all the chaos of like moving in and settling in. So my sales were kind of slow. You know, it wasn't the former kind of glory days of my store. And this year I was like, okay, we gotta start getting back into growth mode again. And I realized quickly that, you know, the best way to do that was to infuse new, more better inventory faster, right? I couldn't be using the trickle of capital that my store was giving me after being kind of slow and slowing down for those big reasons. So I took my first cash advance. Man, it helped so much. And then now I'm actually using the flexible version, and I really like that. I have a draw on it right now that I'm working on, but I'm also prepared to basically have my entire pool of funding available for Q4 sourcing. So I just wanted to go ahead and get one under my belt and get some things set up for Q4. But I'm really excited to have that because, again, like the peace of mind that comes with using a product like that is so much greater than even just like using a credit card or any other like traditional kind of funding. So I don't know if you could call me a poster child. I would certainly call Stephanie and Ken poster children of this product. But I hope to become a poster child because I want my growth trajectory and my success story to just keep on climbing. And I definitely see eBay Seller Capital continuing to be part of that. So kind of speaking of that and looking to the future, Jitin, do you have anything you can share with us about what's coming up for eBay Seller Capital? Anything on the horizon that sellers should be on the lookout for?
For sure. And by the way, poster child or not, you know, stories like yours and Ken's and Stephanie's, and I'm sure I speak for my colleagues here, are what gets us out of bed in the morning and go to work. It's just insane to hear about the success stories that you have in some small way help support. So thank you for sharing that.
Well, absolutely. And I will be happy to say that the hope of being able to have that kind of success and that kind of flexibility with our businesses and our lives and like focus on the stuff that actually matters in our lives is what gets us out of bed in the morning. So it really is, once again, a win-win.
100%. Thank you so much. And looking to the future, as you asked, one of the most exciting developments for eBay Seller Capital is our focus on embedded financing. We're seamlessly integrating funding options directly within the eBay experience. We're trying to build industry-leading financing solutions that make it easier than ever for sellers to access capital they need without leaving the eBay platform. This means faster access to capital, more personalized financing options, and a smoother experience that lets sellers like yourselves focus on growing your business rather than navigating the complex lending processes.
Right.
Now, we're also trying to harness the power of AI to transform eBay Seller Capital into a smarter, more personalized financing solution. For example, we use AI to refine our risk assessment models in partnership with our lending providers to allow us to better predict payment behaviors and identify potential risk. So by doing so, we're able to weed out some of the bad actors and offer an even better product for the sellers that are actually looking to grow.
That's what I was
Right.
thinking. Like it's even more tailored that way.
For sure, yeah. And while I can't share all of the details just yet, we're focused on expanding our offerings to better serve a wider range of businesses' needs, such as more flexible financing options, a better borrowing experience, and in general, making it easier for our sellers to discover and access capital on eBay.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it feels so seamless already. So I'm curious to see how much more embedded the experience can get. But yeah, that is very exciting to hear about. When you can tell us more about any of those upcoming options, please come back on the show and tell us all about it. And also, Jitin, I have buried the lead a little bit because we didn't even tell our audience right now that you sell stuff on eBay yourself too. So I just want to ask you, and put you on the spot and ask you, what's the last thing you sold on eBay? Because I know this about you, but we didn't really talk about it.
Actually, the last thing I sold on eBay was a toddler's bike. Oh, by the way, I have a 19-month-old, and yeah, I've been blessed with some really great friends who pampered him with like a lot of gifts on his birthday, and you have to kind of ration
You
gifts
do.
for a
Yeah, right.
toddler. So we just got around to like opening some of the gifts like a few weeks ago, and there was a bike that one of my friends had gifted him, which he already had one of.
Oh,
So,
gotcha. It's a
so
duplicate.
it's a duplicate one, but he's a toddler, right? He just proceeded to tear open the box. Now it's an open box, right? So we decided
Yeah,
to
open
list
box.
it on eBay, open box. It's essentially untouched. And
Right.
but I listed it at like a 30% discount. So the deals to be found on eBay.
It's a
Like,
good deal.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
yeah.
profit for you or your toddler, if you want to share the funds, we'll see. But that's really awesome. Was that a pain to ship? Was it big-ish?
Oh no, I mean it wasn't. It wasn't.
Not
It
too
was.
big.
Yeah, it was something that you had to assemble. So like
Oh,
a
okay,
small,
so
Oh,
it's
okay.
kind of broken down a little bit.
That's
it's
Yeah.
good.
broken down, so
Well,
it's easy. Yeah.
I won't feel bad for you then. It's
Yeah.
easy
Yeah.
to ship. That's awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to share with our audience? I know we've been talking a lot about all this, and I really appreciate just the level of detail you're willing to go into with us to share with us, and just to have our listeners have the chance to hear straight from you about everything that eBay's offering.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's one thing I want to leave your listeners with, it's that eBay Seller Capital really offers a risk-free way for you to kind of gauge what your business could be eligible for in terms of capital. There's no obligations. You can apply with no hit to your credit, and your personalized offer is waiting for you on your Seller Hub. So go ahead, check it out, and give it a shot, and grow your business like Ken and Nana did.
Heck yeah. And Stephanie, and would they go to the payments tab? Is that where it lives, the application?
Yes. If
Okay,
you go to the
great.
payments tab on Seller Hub, you should be able to see eBay Seller Capital on the left-hand nav. Click on that, and there's a dedicated page for eBay Seller Capital with your personalized offer waiting for you.
That's incredible. Well, thanks so much. I hope we hear so many more success stories coming out of this program. It's really been a game changer for me and for Ken, and obviously for a lot of other people too. So,
So, well, there you have it. So let's all get locked in and get our strategies together. Get your sourcing on, powered by eBay Seller Capital.